the Petro de Luanda versus AS Douanes game will go down as an instant classic. This game was decided by 1 point with a huge 20-point comeback from Petro de Luanda. Let's just talk about this. So this game had everything that I always wanted in a game: competitive fire and just a comeback and just a huge run and an epic end and conclusion. So the AS Douanes team, they have themselves to blame. They started off poorly and they finished off poorly. They started the game in the first quarter with 8 points. They had a very huge third quarter where there was a high likelihood that they were just going to win it. But in the fourth, they only limited to a measly 9 points to Petro de Luanda's 24. And Petro, at some point in the game, they just looked dead in the water, and it just looked like it's just another type of year where they're just going to get knocked off. But they had a huge fighting spirit, and Nicolas Faust was the man of the hour. He was the guy that, despite not having the most huge points tally, his 13 points coming in the fourth quarter at the clutch was the difference. And having such players who are coming off and just having a good performance like that, especially down the stretch, was something that I really looked forward to, and it's something that gave hope to this Petro de Luanda side. So the Petro de Luanda team, they have had their fair share of failures, especially when it came to last year and they got knocked off in the semis. At that time, in their roster, they had Ater Majok and Solo Diabate. They were not able to make that work. That situation worked. They got knocked off in the semis, and their title in their title aspirations and their championship aspirations are still alive even till this day, even despite that loss last year. This year, they decided to try to turn it around, and the way they started off in the Kalahari Conference, things did not look as promising as they lost to the FUS de Rabat team and they lost to the Cape Town Tigers. And those two losses, coupled by the fact that they were very inconsistent, led them to sack coach Jose Neto, and they went ahead and got a new coach at that. Coach Jose Neto was that coach that had stayed with the Petro de Luanda side for the longest time, and him not being there was just a bit awkward for me, because looking at how Petro de Luanda just play basketball, they play basketball in a certain way, and they have always been dominant and have always had the upper hand on things. But the way they looked in this game, especially in the third quarter, they looked like they were just out of it, and they just looked like they got their fight beat out of them, and they just did not look like they had hope. But late game heroics and a very good run and proper execution on offense led to this eventual result. This game was so close to the point where every single possession counted for Petro de Luanda. I watched this game live, and I must say it was so entertaining. I was rooting for Petro de Luanda because I felt like they can be able to go ahead and even win the BAL. A BAL championship for the Petro de Luanda side is way overdue, because out of the teams that are left, majority of them are newcomers. Petro de Luanda is the only OG team. We have seen the FUS Rabat team. They are the first seed in the Kalahari Conference. They got eliminated in the first round. You've seen the Alali team, the defending champions hailing from Egypt, got knocked off, and the US Monastir got knocked off by the River Hoopers. So you're seeing a new crop of semis, and the only OG team left is the Petro de Luanda team. If this situation does not work and they're not able to win the championship, they have themselves to blame. I'm not saying that the draw to the championship will be easy, but all I'm just saying is right now, this is their best shot. They've had their shot in BAL Season 2. They couldn't make it past the US Monastir team, and they beat them. But in this time, they have what it takes to go ahead, because they have that fight, design, and determination. And Petro de Luanda, shooting-wise, they didn't have the best shooting, especially from downtown. They really struggled knocking down the three ball, in same case as the AS Douanes team. And this is something that I've noted in a game-by-game basis, because both these two teams really struggle to shoot the three ball, as they have the worst percentages. Petro de Luanda only 17% from downtown. On 28 attempts, they only made 5. And AS Douanes, out of 29 attempts, they only had 6 made threes. And it is something that I don't think a championship team has such statistical has such statistical nights, especially from downtown. But looking at the 2-point field goals, both teams were able to hit their mid-range shots very well at a 52% clip each. But that free field goal percentage went down because of those threes that they were jacking up, and it really, really hurt them. But this game, it was not decided too much on the line. John Jackie's Boise, he had 28 points. He was the guy that had recorded a game-high points tally, and he's the guy that majority of the Petro Luanda team was setting up to guard, because there was some points in time where he got fouled late in the game. He went to the line. He missed a couple of clutch free throws that could have been able to swing the game to the Douanes team. But the Petro Luanda team were just disciplined on offense. They did not overcommit. They didn't undercommit. They just made sure to block them shots and try to just get a stop. Because at some point in the fourth, it was just about getting a stop, making it count in the basket on the other side. Getting a stop, defending, go on the other side and score. So that's the thing that they did efficiently. The Petro Luanda side did not have like huge scoring barrages coming from players, but their team effort and their collective effort was the reason as to why they were able to do it. And they're also checking out the boxes on the other statistical categories: assists, steals, and blocks. As the Petro Luanda team, they led in assists with 17 total assists, and they played more of team basketball. As the Douanes team, they looked to get the ball to either John Jackie's Boise or Amadou Haruna majority of the time. And offense, if they were really depending on that, and they looked very predictable, because now the Petro Luanda team knew who to zero on, and they knew who to go for, especially when it came to trying to get a quick bucket. Because the whole Douanes team were just looking at either Haruna. If Haruna is open, let's get him the ball and let him ISO. So when the Petro Luanda picked up on that, it was so easy to be able to play some defense, because when John Jackie's Boise had it, sending a double team in there, forcing a turnover, steal, go on the other side and make the basket. So those are the things that really, really helped. But still, it was a very good game from AS Douanes team. We had a couple of good performances. Amadou Haruna, he led with 5 assists. You got Adama Diakite, he had 9 total rebounds. Yannick Moreira, he was the man of the hour, man. He had recorded 9 rebounds in the game. Abubakar Gaku 6, Markeith Cummings, he had 4 boards. Yannick Moreira, he had 9 points. Markeith Cummings 9 points. Glofate Buambia, he had 5. Lukeni Gonçalves, he didn't have a very good game. I was monitoring his performance. Him, Chile Dandao, and Carlos Moraes, I was making sure to deliberately look at what they are doing. And the thing that shocked me the most is, even despite this whole comeback, we did not see the productivity of Carlos Moraes. We didn't see Chile Dandao do anything, and when he didn't see Aliganid Aguinaldo Neto, this guy, I don't know if I butchered his name, but we didn't see Neto even play. He didn't even suit up, and also John Pedro didn't have he didn't have a good game at all. But Lukeni Gonçalves, he laid an egg in this game. Chile Dandao laid an egg. Carlos Moraes also is the team captain, but he didn't do anything. And in this comeback, it was the other guys that carried the team. I was expecting Lukeni Gonçalves to light up from 3, but he's not able to get his shot on at all. And honestly, if you ask me, you need all the players to work on full cylinders. But late in the game, Carlos Moraes was on the bench, just looking at the other team. Just I don't want to say bail him out, but they were just doing their thing. But anyway, basketball is a team sport, and it takes a whole team to win games, not just an individual. And that's what the Petro Luanda showed, because they didn't have too many players scoring 10 points. We only had one player, and he only had 13 points. The other points were just distributed. Ganson Domingos, he had 7. Yannick Moreira 9, Lukeni Gonçalves 5, Abubakar Gaku 6. They were evenly distributed, and because of the fact that they dished out the rock pretty well for all team, throughout the whole team, you could see Glofate Buambia, he had 5 assists. We have Lukeni Goncalves, they had 4, despite having 6 turnovers, which I must say really killed his productivity. We didn't see him much on offense. Hopefully he can be able to change it up in the semis, because in the semis that's where every game counts, and his performance is something that I've been looking at recently. But all in all, it was a great performance, great team effort. Hopefully they don't keep the games close like that, because the other guys that they're going to face the Cape Town Tigers, who are just on that underdog story, and they're just going to pick up the beef that they left off last time they met in the Kalahari Conference. So you're seeing a rekindled beef, Petro de Luanda and Cape Town Tigers. So this game is just going to be insane in the semis. Hopefully the Petro de Luanda team are able to get over that and finish the Cape Town Tigers off quickly to make it to the finals, because if they don't, things are just going to look very weird for them. And if things look weird, things are just going to a lot of narratives are just going to come out with Petro de Luanda being labeled as serial chokers, because this is a team that is way overdue from winning a championship. We've seen the OG team, we've seen Zamalek win it, we've seen USM win it. Al Ahly were not even supposed to win it last year. It was supposed to be Petro. And right now, this year, all roads show that if Petro de Luanda blow this opportunity, it can go down as a failed season for them. But anyway, looking at even the other statistics, both teams turned over the ball at a similar clip, which was actually quite sad. And it was the most, I must say, it was just not the prettiest game, but still, a win is a win. But the bench points coming from the Petro de Luanda team were the difference, because they had 31 total bench points, they had 25 second chance points, they had 16 fast break points, they led in assists with 17 assists and 11 steals. So there was no stopping this team, and they were just checking out all the boxes, not just scoring wise, but also just covering for each other, because the AS Douanes did a very poor job in covering for John Jackie's Boise and Amadou Haruna, because they were just being left there to roost as they were being tasked to carry the offense. And it takes a whole team to carry the offense, and it takes a whole team to carry the defense. You just cannot depend on one player to do everything. And the Douanes have learned that the hard way, and the season is just over. And Nicolas Frost, this man just came out of nowhere, and he just carried the game, and he carried the day as well, because I really enjoyed the way he played, the way he came out, and it was such a relief to see players just come out and play like that, because some players they might look underrated, but given a shot and given the right moments and a bit of luck going their way, they are just able to turn it up and just be the difference, and just be the main difference in the whole game. So I was just excited. I must say I'm very happy for this Petro de Luanda side. I was rooting for them in yesterday's game. I stayed up late to watch this game, and I must say it was such a good game. And Petro de Luanda, they're on that road to the BAL finals, and all roads just show that they can be able to do it. They can be able to take apart the Cape Town Tigers, who are not as experienced as the Petro de Luanda team. And also, just to add on, Petro de Luanda have already secured their ticket for BAL Season 5. So even if they're not able to make it now, they'll have another shot legit coming next year, as they're able to beat the Interclub team in their federation's finals just a few weeks ago. So the AS Douanes team, they have themselves to blame. They started off the game poorly with an 8-point first quarter, and they finished off the game with a 9-point fourth quarter, and they depended on drawing fouls and getting to the line, and they forgot about the other aspects on defense, and also just shooting the ball from downtown, and also trying to convert on layups and steals. Couldn't do that. A lot of times we saw the AS Douanes team getting pick their pockets a lot, and the fact that the Petro de Luanda team were that composed, and they just knew like what buttons to push, and the comeback the comeback trail was just on there, especially that last possession. The ball just went out. I just saw a steal, ball went for a full court, a nice pass in there, a crazy layup, crazy off the glass layup, and that's the shot that decided the game. So I mean, it was just thrilling, and I must say I was very excited, as I root for the Petro de Luanda team, honestly. And AS Douanes, man, just gonna be a long off season. They're also an OG team, but man, they just needed to put things together, because last year they made the finals and things are just not looking good for them. But anyway, that's just my opinion. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below. Do you think Petro de Luanda can go all the way in and win the finals? Because right now, all roads just show that they can be able to go ahead and do it. And they have all the tools needed to go ahead and make a push. So, I mean, I'm very excited for this BAL season. You're seeing a couple of new teams there. You're seeing the Rev Hoopers and Al Ali Benghazi are going to match up in the semis to determine who's going to go to the finals. And Petro de Luanda get their rematch with the Cape Town Tigers, and they're going to pick off from where they left off in the Kalahari Conference. So, yeah, man, I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.